and welcome to another episode of InfoScope. I'm your host, Tana Kim. Once again, it's time to look at the latest from the IT and science worlds. As all cellular phone users know, getting a new phone can be very expensive. In Korea, the government and private organizations have come together to provide used phones that are cheaper than phones sold online. Let's find out more on BriefingScope. The Ministry of Science, ICT and Future Planning has started a service for selling used cell phones on Korea Post's website. The products include both second-hand phones and display models and will be 20 to 30% cheaper than regular prices. Check out Korea Post's website for more details. The compound Apigenin found in herbs and chili peppers was found to boost brain cell generation. Researchers exposed human stem cells to Apigenin and confirmed that the stem cells divided into fully functional brain cells. The research is expected to contribute to the treatment of dementia. A research team from the University of Montreal reviewed data of roughly 145,000 pregnancies and discovered that taking antidepressants between the 4th and 9th months of pregnancy raises the risk that the child will be diagnosed with autism by the age of 7 by 87%. Seek medical advice before taking antidepressants during pregnancy. A high concentration of ultrafine particles in the air may lead to higher risks of sudden cardiac arrest. Researchers stated that ultrafine particles go into not only the respiratory system, but also the blood vessels, which can lead to strokes or heart disorders. Ultrafine particles and global warming are two urgent environmental issues affecting the world. In such times, it's important to pay attention to the changes in your own body. If you are feeling particularly cold this winter, it may be a sign that you are unwell. Let's learn more in Industry Inside.
In the winter months, we try to stay warm with thick coats, scarves, and gloves. Even so, feeling the cold more acutely than others may mean that something is wrong with your health. It may be a symptom of a weakened thyroid, which regulates metabolism and body temperature.
갑상선 염증이 생겨서 기능이 떨어지게 되면, 즉 갑상선 기능 저하증이 오게 되면 우리 몸의 신진대사가 줄어들게 되고, 그걸 통해서 환자가 많이 피곤함이라든지 기운 없고 변비라든지, 또 심해지면은 추위를 참지 못하고 유난히 추위를 많이 타게 된다든지 이런 증상이 생길 수 있어요.
It's important to eat well during the winter, since the stomach becomes active after a meal and there's more blood flow to the stomach, making your body warm. The extent of the effect depends on what kind of food you consume. The higher the protein content, the longer this warm sensation lasts. Paying attention to the signals from your body is the first step to staying healthy in the cold winter. This is the spacesuit that the astronaut of the Apollo 12 program wore. The suit features many functions, including communication, oxygen purification, and bodily waste removal. The Lunar Landing Module's control room, the moon buggy, and the control room of a space shuttle. The Saturn V rocket, which sent astronauts to the moon, is on display, but at 1/10 the size of the actual rocket. This exhibition, which started in 2011, made stops in 6 countries, including Spain, Japan, and Sweden, before coming to Korea. Visitors can also experience weightlessness and try on spacesuits. When someone says soju, the first thing that comes to mind is the trademark green bottle. The iron content in the production stage determines the color. When no color is added or removed, the glass carries a blue hue. This is the soju bottle that was used up until the early 90s. Since then, the bottles have been colored green to enhance the clean image. Soju can be stored in green bottles because, as a hard liquor, it remains unaffected by light.
녹색을 띠기 위하여 녹색을 발견할 수 있는 착색제를 추가로 투입하게 되어 현재 시판되고 있는 녹색병을 만들 수 있는 것입니다.
On the other hand, fermented alcohol like beer is sensitive to sunlight. Hops, the main ingredient of beer, are sensitive to light, so beer comes in brown bottles that block out UV rays. Makgeolli, Korean traditional rice wine, is transported in plastic bottles for safety reasons, as it ferments even inside the bottles and creates gas. Moreover, plastic bottles are relatively cheap, so they're suitable for holding makgeolli, whose precipitate renders the containers non-reusable.
제품이 출시된 이후에도 후발효가 계속 일어나기 때문에 탄산이 과하게 포화가 되게 되면 병이 폭발할 수가 있습니다. 병뚜껑을 약간 열어놓음으로 해서 그 탄산이 밖으로 새 나가서 병이 터지지 않게 그렇게 준비를 하고 있습니다.
A typical soju bottle weighs 290 grams. Even though it does not weigh much, that one bottle holds a significant amount of science, history of alcohol, and the history of Koreans. Some can type fast without looking at the keyboard. Some can text message almost effortlessly. Subconscious actions like these are all part of what is called procedural memory. Procedural memory is based on repetitive motions that stimulate the brain. Eventually, these motions become ingrained as a long-term memory. Experts suggest that repetition might help fix everyday habits. They further added that consistent interaction with children will generate good procedural memory, which can lead to good daily habits.
어머니가 이제 양육을 하실 때 아이한테 어떤 조건을 계속 반복해서 제시를 해서 그 조건을 통해서 나중에 어떤 보상이 주어지지 않아도 아이가 이제 그런 행위를 할 수 있게 되면
Daily repetitions of small actions can lead to a better future.
And that is why once you learn how to swim or ride a bike, you remember it for the rest of your life. If small habits can change the direction of our lives, new technologies can change the quality. New types of cameras, ones without lenses or those that can detect an object behind a wall, are appearing on the market. Let's take a closer look in Tech a Peek.
Cameras are an everyday necessity. From digital cameras to phone cameras, they come in many forms, but all of them rely on a sensor and a lens. However, US-based researchers have created a camera that doesn't use a lens. They use the principles of pinhole cameras, in which a film is inserted in a box with a pinhole and exposed to light. The camera, which is thinner than a coin, has a mask with a specialized pattern placed with 0.5 millimeters in front of the sensor. The light that penetrates the mask hits the sensor and is processed not by a lens, but by a computer program and converted into an image. A lensless camera can be attached to sub-miniature robots or drones and act as the eye. Moreover, the camera can be attached to an endoscope and be used with a bendable sensor to eliminate blind spots. Researchers state that they are working on refining the imaging algorithm so that the pictures will have a better quality than the current 260,000 pixels. They plan to use this technology in a variety of fields. A child suddenly appears from between the cars and runs into a moving car. When a person or a car appears from a blind spot, more often than not, it results in an accident. This is why we need a camera technology that can pick out dangers lurking in blind spots. Researchers from MIT have developed a technology that uses microwaves to detect an object behind a wooden wall. They are not high-resolution images, but with the help of sensors, a 3D image of the object can be produced. British researchers have developed a technology that utilizes lasers and specialized cameras to see objects around corners. The specialized camera picks up reflected laser lights and can estimate the object's shape and movement at a speed of 20 billion frames per second. The technology is currently capable of picking up objects 1 meter away. Researchers are working on boosting the distance to 10 meters. However, both technologies still take a long time to create an image of what's being detected. There are still limits in real-time detection of objects. Experts state that it's essential to speed up the imaging process in order to apply the technologies to vehicles. This is an eco-friendly electric car that does not release any exhaust gas. Power semiconductors make up the muscle of electric cars. These semiconductors are made of silicon. Power semiconductors made of silicon carbide raise an electric car's fuel efficiency by 5%. A silicon carbide power semiconductor can withstand the same amount of voltage as a silicon model, but at 1/10 the thickness. Moreover, there is little electric resistance and almost no power dissipation. Furthermore, it doesn't generate heat, which means a smaller cooling system or none at all. Up until last year, only the United States, France, Japan, and other developed countries had this technology. Then Korean researchers succeeded in developing a domestic version of this technology after 16 years of research. A local SME has been given this technology for mass production.
실리콘 카바이드 전력 반도체에 대한 2020년 이후에 큰 시장을 바라보고 현재 R&D와 양산을 준비하고 있습니다.
Following last year's Volkswagen emission scandal, development of eco-friendly electric cars has picked up pace. The global market for silicon carbide power semiconductors is growing quickly every year, and the market is expected to be worth over $1 billion by 2020. The aroma of roasted coffee beans is attributed to a chemical compound called melanoidins. Melanoidins are known for having antioxidant properties as they are created during processing or storing food. Korean researchers have come up with a way of utilizing melanoidins as contrasting agents for CT or MRI scans. Firing a laser to a mouse fed with melanoidins clearly revealed a complex network of lymph nodes. The melanoidins in the mouse's bloodstream heated up upon exposure to the laser, generating microscopic sound waves. These sound waves were converted into visual materials. Melanoidins can be inserted in the body to selectively kill cancer cells, which are weak to heat. Researchers look forward to using melanoidins for side effect-free cancer treatments and cosmetic surgery such as liposuction. The findings of this research were published in the online version of the international scientific journal ACS Nano.
I don't know about you, but just the thought of the scent of roasted coffee beans makes me feel a lot better. How about enjoying a warm cup of coffee or tea while watching InfoScope? Because we'll be back next time with more interesting and informative news from the IT and science worlds. Have a great week, everyone. Goodbye.